To Marketing as a Foreign Language, this the 326th episode. We had a snafu the other day where I had an entire episode go and nobody could hear it. So we're redoing that episode. Facebook to hire 10,000 people in the EU to build the metaverse. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a big deal because it just goes to show that we're going to be living in a virtual environment shortly. That's the main story the other day. We're also going to be talking about Facebook AI moderator confused videos of mass shootings and car washes with Frances Haugen's whistleblower testimony coming out. A lot of folks are saying that Facebook is intentionally destroying the fabric of culture. It's not doing what it should in regards to hate speech, but it may turn out that this is more of an artificial intelligence issue and less of a ethics issue. We can debate that. Google Maps adds eco-friendly routing to save fuel, cut emissions. I love this. If you are willing to spend equal or a little bit more time than the fastest route, then you can save X percent of fuel. This, of course, releases fewer carbon emissions, and it also saves you money because you're not using as much gas. Basically, Google figured out a way to get you to go on less hills, stop less, avoid traffic. It may take longer, but they're saying it's the equivalent of taking 200,000 cars off the road. It is pretty incredible. We'll dive into that. Fake YouTube Apple event stream drew 30,000 viewers before turning into a crypto scam. Yeah, in the world of deep fakes, it's going to become evident that we need to put on our big boy and girl helmets to understand what's real and what's not. These scams are only going to get more and more insidious. And finally, marketing to Generation Alpha. These are folks born between 2010 and 2024. They have more buying power than any previous generation of that age. So let's dive into the 10,000 people that Facebook hired in the European Union. According to CNN.com, all links to all articles in the description. Facebook plans to hire up to 10,000 workers in Europe to build a metaverse that will combine virtual and augmented reality technologies into a new online realm. It's going to take 5 years for them to do this. Facebook said the investment was a vote of confidence in Europe's tech industry. The point of all this is that we are very shortly going to be living in a completely virtual environment. Augmented reality will be equally as important, but the value of homes, I really want to drive this home for people. When you can work from home, have your games at home, have a virtual reality experience at home, the value of the home is just going to go up. I really don't think commercial real estate is, it may just get turned into residential real estate, to be honest with you, because many of the things we do are already on Zoom. It is only going to head in this direction more and more and more. And so home values, I would argue, over the next 20 to 50 years are just going to go up and up and up because people are going to want the 5-bedroom house because they're going to want that room dedicated to virtual reality. So living in that sort of realm is going to bring about all sorts of moral and ethical quandaries. It's going to be quite interesting to see how we adapt as a species. Loneliness is a big killer. It actually, being lonely can be just as detrimental as getting punched in the face. Cortisol is released when we're lonely. And the reason that is because we used to evolve in tribes. Hey, Ranger, Mortalax, what's going on, dude? Coming to us from Twitch. But anyway, mortal, what is it? Oh, yeah. Because we evolved in tribes, basically, when we're lonely, we have this sort of like flight or fight issue that goes on in our brain, and it can release a lot of the stress hormone cortisol. And so in a virtual environment, do we feel that same sense of tribalism? Do we feel like our loved ones are around us? We're going to see. Or do we need that sort of physical proximity? You could argue that sitting in Zoom meetings all day is a form of a tribe. Is it the same? Clearly not. It'll be interesting to see how studies show whether or not we experience that same increase in cortisol when we are in digital environments as opposed to physical ones. But in the end, we know that 10,000 people being hired in the European Union to build this metaverse is only the beginning of what is going to be a wild, wild ride into virtual reality. Facebook AI moderator confused videos of mass shootings and car washes. This is arstechnica.com. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg sounded an optimistic note 3 years ago when he wrote about the progress his company was making in automated moderation tools powered by artificial intelligence. That being said, they are still making a lot of mistakes when it comes to AI. So Frances Haugen came up with this really, really electric interview where she photocopied um, a document from an internal study in Facebook where she showed that, according to their own study, 3 to 5% of hate speech is being addressed. 0.6%, I want to say, of incitement to violence posts are being addressed. And initially, I thought this was because Facebook wanted profit. And now I'm realizing that perhaps it is more so an artificial intelligence issue where you got to understand there are billions and billions of posts that these people have to go through to understand what's hate speech and what isn't. It's probably much easier for me to sit here on my throne of judgment and cast aspersions on Facebook when the reality might be much more complicated. That being said, Facebook clearly has a profit incentive to keep these posts alive because they are very attractive to people. People like talking. Beep. You know what I'm saying? They love this stuff, and it attaches them to Facebook. So clearly, Facebook should be the adults in the room and take this seriously, which I think they do, but find a better way to deal with this. But the fact that an AI moderator confused videos of mass shootings and car washes goes to show that AI is not what we thought it was. According to the article today, Facebook's AI tools may be catching more content before users report it because 2 years ago, Facebook intentionally made it harder for users to file reports. A side effect of that was that the AI tools were now able to catch more posts before they were finally reported by users. Quote, "We may have moved the needle too far," one of the report's authors said, "of the extra hurdles users must go through to report posts that may violate the site's policy." So they're trying to figure it out. Will they get it right? We'll see. Google Maps adds eco-friendly routing to save fuel and cut emissions. This from autoblog.com. I think this is absolutely brilliant. So imagine you're on Google Maps and you are going to go to, I don't know, a coffee shop, and there's an option to spend 6 minutes in the car versus 5, and it says you will save 15% fuel by doing it this way versus the other way. What's happening is Google is saying, well, you're going to avoid a hill, you're going to avoid this traffic, and you're less likely to get stopped at a stoplight. And so go this way. Not only does that save you a little bit of money, that minute probably doesn't matter in the long run of things. And you are contributing to a reduction of greenhouse global gas emissions. When we have fully automated cars, you'll just be able to turn on an eco-friendly mode that simply chooses the eco-friendly option all of the time. But this idea is absolutely beautiful, this fuel-efficient route. So according to autoblog.com, essentially Google Maps will suggest a route that lowers fuel consumption. It may be slightly longer or take more time than the traditional fastest route, but the goal is to save fuel. And in some cases, Google says the fastest route will also be the most fuel efficient route. And so it will only share one option. This sort of technological advancement makes me very excited about the future. Shout out to Brad Hess in chat. Thank you, buddy, for leaving that comment. I appreciate it. So anyway, let's save some fuel. Next time you're on Google Maps, just check it out. What's next? Fake YouTube Apple event stream draws 30,000 viewers before turning into crypto scam. That's from 9to5Mac.com. An unofficial YouTube stream of the Apple event has drawn tens of thousands of viewers ahead of Apple's actual October Unleashed event going live, where the company is set to announce a highly anticipated new MacBook Pro. However, this fake stream, like a lot of terrible things in 2021, has converted into a crypto scam. Just goes to show that there are a million different ways to remove people from their money. It is not the easiest thing on planet Earth to be aware of all of these issues. If you're new to crypto, for example, you could get caught up in something like this. Crypto is a very interesting space. A lot of people are making a lot of money. A lot of people are losing a lot of money. When it comes to where you go online, just be cognizant. Be cognizant. It's easy for me to say. I'm in the tech industry. I'm very aware of these sorts of things. But when I'm 60 or 65 years old, maybe come back to me when I'm getting completely ripped off because I have no idea what's happening anymore. And finally, we've got excuse me. That's how you know we're a live show. Finally, Axios.com, marketing to Generation Alpha. So I've got two kids in Generation Alpha. And when they say that their purchasing power is more than any other generation of the same age, I totally get it. The reason, of course, is that the marketplace is the computer. So when I was a kid, I had to convince my parents to go to the store. When we were at the store, I had to convince them to purchase me a thing. And then they would get that thing for me and I'd be thrilled and I'd go home and hooray. Now my daughter just comes up to me with the phone in her hand and says, "Can we buy this game?" She's already on it. So I'd have to take the phone away from her. And so that's a power struggle in and of itself. Same thing with my son. And then, of course, the computer has Amazon and it has the most incredible things in the world, material objects that they want desperately. And it's only 2 days away and a couple clicks. And so it's just, you're always at the store. Now, I'm sure there are child psychologists and parenting experts that say, well, just set boundaries. That's fine. Yeah, okay. If it were that easy, then this generation wouldn't have the most buying power of any generation. Um, they're just unparalleled. So, according to the article, these kids are weaned on TikTok, Amazon, and in app purchases. They're learning from their millennial parents to hold brands accountable for causes like social justice and sustainability. And no prior age cohort will be as large in size or marketing power. The oldest members of Gen Alpha are only 11. They already stand out from Gen Z brand awareness and influence in household spending. It says they're not just pre-consumers; their sway and leverage over adults' purchasing decisions surpass any prior generation, according to market research. That's so true. So I don't know. Do you know anyone who's like 6, 9, 8? They've got power, man. They've got the power. Too funny to me. And it's all based on the fact that they've got these millennial parents that grew up with the internet, and the parents themselves have their own issues with buying stuff online. I certainly do. It's easy to hop onto Amazon, Walmart, whatever, and just click, 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 and forget about it. And every day you're checking for packages. The culture has changed completely, completely. So let's recap the news of the day. Facebook hiring 10,000 people in the European Union to build the metaverse means that the metaverse is coming. And it is going to be big, big, big business. These companies are going to be fighting for your virtual time. They're going to want you in their virtual environments, and they're going to be offering wish fulfillment. Whatever it is you want, they're going to give it to you. Anything you can imagine in the game is going to be there, and the wilder stuff too. Can you imagine like a Burning Man that just never stops? You know what I mean? I mean, there's going to be a 24/7 Burning Man in the metaverse. There's going to be a 24/7 Zen meditation temple. There's going to be a 24/7 soccer game, baseball game. I mean, these things are going to be happening all of the time, and you're going to be able to teleport to wherever you want, whenever you want. And it's going to get real wild real quick. And Facebook knows that. They know how much money's in that, and they're fighting for it. Facebook AI moderator confused videos of mass shootings and car washes. Look, AI is not what we thought it was. I mean, it's amazing, but it is also flawed. And so we are simply not there yet. We are in the embryonic stages of AI. Don't get it twisted. Google Maps eco-friendly route, do it. Do it. Spend the 2 minutes, get there a little bit later and save the world one eco-friendly routing at a time. This sort of thing is absolutely beautiful. I love everything about it. Good for you, Google. Fake YouTube Apple event draws 30,000 viewers before turning into a crypto scam. Just be careful out there, guys. It's that simple. And finally, Gen Alpha. They know. Oh, yes, they do. They know everything. And they're going to get their parents to spend money on them. Yes, they are. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the show for today. Thank you so much for swinging on by. I genuinely appreciate it. YouTube.com/Send It Rising. Also, want to throw it out there as the owner of an internet marketing company, senditrising.com, WordPress websites, SEO, pay per click, any sort of marketing that you or a friend or someone you know needs, why don't you shoot us an email, info@senditrising.com, info at senditrising.com. And do me a favor, swing by youtube.com/senditrising, hit that thumbs up button, show some love. We appreciate it. And we will see you next time.